Peace, beautiful humans. What's up? What's up? So this is Into the Sun Foundations. In our series, we have been going over how to dance through and move through our sun salutation creatively. And so this video, whether you do it before Into the Sun or after Into the Sun, after our series, this video is going to show you how to move foundation to foundation, meaning posture to posture, what we're looking for between each thing. So usually in my sessions, I will kind of cue us as to what we should be feeling, but this video is specifically to go over that detail by detail, all right? So the sun salutation is a sequence that actually starts on the feet. So when we come up and inhale to raise the arms up, that's the beginning of the sun salutation. And it goes all the way through our sequence till we get back to mountain pose. There's also another part in our sun salutation called a chaturanga. So going from push-up position through the movements to downward facing dog is called chaturanga. So we're going to go over the full sun salutation and chaturanga right now. So when we stand at the top of our mat, ideally our feet should be together and we're pressing into our heels as well as into our feet. So all four corners of our feet, make sure my feet are actually visible on the mat. We're pressing into all four corners of our feet. And then as we inhale to raise the arms up, we gaze up at the hands and our shoulders are down and away from the ears. You can also lift the shoulders up to reach, but just little bits of articulation, whether your hands come out sideways or your hands come up forward or up the center, whatever, you can bring your shoulders up by your ears for a maximum stretch or roll the shoulders down away from the ears, depending on what you need. And we reach up, fingers nice and spread wide. So when we do this mountain, or before, not yet mountain pose is hands out, but as we stand, we want to think our feet are grounded and then our upper body is lifted. So imagine if you're focusing on your core, the lower half is rooting into the ground and the upper half is lifting. So you have this opposition that's happening at the same time. Next is the forward fold. There's plenty of ways to get down to touch your toes, but as we forward fold, the focus is usually on the lower back and also the calf muscles. So as we inhale and raise the arms up, exhale to fold, you'll see this a lot, placing the hands together and folding down what we say as the center line, right? It's the center line of your body. So hands come together and fold down the center line. Once we come into this forward fold, depending on the flow that you're doing or what you're looking for in your body, you might hear yoga guides asking you to lock your legs out, especially if you do Bikram yoga. They'll say lock the legs out and grab behind the ankles and your stretch. Though, if you're planning on doing a forward fold for a long time, that can cut off the circulation and make you a little woozy and pass out. So we don't always want to lock the legs out for a very long extended amount of time. Keep a slight bend in them and forward fold. As we fold, we're thinking about releasing the back, okay? So from the forward fold, we inhale and create a flat back. Now, most times, especially in beginner yoga, you'll hear the flat back include bringing your hands to your shins or bringing the hands to the thighs, because we are going for, as you can see, 90-degree angle here, but that's not the goal. It's not about the 90-degree angle. By doing this flat back, we are activating our calf muscles and getting a really deep stretch in those. So from the forward fold, when we come up to that flat back, we're elongating our muscles in a way that it opens up the calves, okay? So essentially, the flat back is a calf stretch, all right? So the intention is just to get a flat spine. We do not have to come all the way up to 90 degrees to have a flat spine, all right? Notice my hands are still down, and without my neck cranked back to see you like this, this is also a flat spine. So as we move through our session, I'll cue flat back, then I'll say, okay, straighten the spine, or I'll say, excuse me, forward fold, inhale, come up to a straight spine, and you'll see me stop here. And you might, especially if you're a beginner, you might be wondering, you're not in 90 degrees. That's not what we're going for. We're going for a nice elongated spine so we can also activate the calf muscles, all right? So next, we come down to push-up position. When we modify this, the knees will be on the ground, and that's fine. Though, let's get into some arm health here. When our arms are on the mat, we don't want to bulldog the arms out like this. We're actually rotating the inside of the elbows forward, and we're not collapsing in the shoulders here. We're pressing our hands into the ground and pressing away from the mat. So it gives us some stability and also some integrity, meaning yoga isn't just about collapsing into this posture, Everything is intentional and strong. Okay, so when we come into our push-up position, our plank here, we're looking for this current of energy that goes from the top of the crown of your head all the way down to the feet. So when we're here, we're not just feeling it in our core and our arms. Distribute your weight, like move around and actually feel it. Distribute your weight so that you feel even weight in your palms, in your feet, and then also your core is activated. You can feel your back muscles activated, your glutes are activated, and your calves are activated. So when we're in that push-up, we are distributing the strength through the whole body. A lot of times, especially when we're kids, we're taught push-ups are all about the arms, and then we're also told squeeze the core. When I was in dance and all the way up through probably college, that's what I learned. Just squeeze the core, keep your arms straight. Wasn't until going into yoga that I started to feel the details of the practice, right? So once again, it's not just about arms and core, right? We want to make sure that our back is in this nice long alignment. We want to even out our weight distribution, and we want to activate the core as well as feel the back muscles activate, maybe the glutes, the thighs, everything, all right? The next move is coming down. So as we come down to our elbows, the elbows are glued to the sides. And as we get lower, the elbows graze the sides of your ribs. That's what we're going for. This move is also very slow and controlled. And as you get into the full expression of your posture, you don't even want to bring your body flat onto the ground. You want to bring your body as close to the ground as possible, then use your inhale to lift up the front of your body for upward facing dog, right? So we're in push-up position, then we lower. Notice how my elbows are so glued into my sides all the way down. Or excuse me, not all the way down, but coming about an inch down. Then notice my heart shifts forward. I'm still on my toes. I lift. Now, when we are doing baby cobra, your body will be on the ground. So from baby cobra, from letting ourselves down, we inhale, press into the mat with your hands, and then activate your lower back. Draw the elbows down to lift your heart. Now that's a lot of things, but that's what we're doing. So hands are basically right by the chest, elbows are tucked in. Feet, they can be, the tops of your feet can be flat on the mat, or they can, your toes can be tucked. And it just depends on if you are staying in baby cobra or if you are shifting to upward facing dog, which is interesting that cobra and upward facing dog are the same thing, but called two completely different things. Whatever. So we inhale and we're here. When we go to the full expression of the pose, maybe your toes are tucked because ideally your body won't be on the ground anymore. Let me demonstrate. So coming from this push-up position, we lower. Notice my body is not on the ground. I shift forward to lift the heart, and then my toes are still on the ground. See how my arms, the inside of my elbows are pressing forward, and I'm lifting the heart. Okay? From here, we send the hips up and back. We press into our fingers, activate the core, press away from the earth, and shrug in the shoulders. So bring the shoulders as close to the ears as possible. Okay, and that is how we transition from upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Okay? When we're in downward facing dog, we are focused on our connection to the earth and also pressing away from the earth, really shrugging up in those shoulders. So from here, we want to shrug up in those shoulders, push away from the earth. If you're a cheerleader, and also, I don't know what other sport, but if you're a cheerleader and you are a base, when you throw people in the air, especially for things like basket tosses, that's the move. Someone steps into your hand, you shrug, and then push. It's the same thing. So anyway, coming from upward facing dog, tuck the toes, press the hips up and away, and here's where we activate the shoulders and press the shoulders away. Okay? From here, stepping to the top to go back into forward fold happens a couple of different ways. The focus, same thing, is on those calf muscles. So, the focus is not on the calf muscles. That's when we're walking to the top of the mat. There's different ways to get to the top of the mat, whether it's walking, lunging, hopping, and the hop is really because you're practicing to get into more of a flow, almost going into a handstand to get there and coming into a forward fold, right? So we've done a couple of these. You might have thus far, I think in Into the Sun, I hopped maybe one time, but that's not currently in my personal practice, so I tend not to do it. So from downward facing dog, you either walk, notice how I'm going one footprint at a time. I'm really working on feeling into the foundation of my feet. And it might not be available to you. I don't really say you might not be flexible enough because that seems almost like an attack on us. Miata, get your booty out the camera, boo-boo. Thank you, mama. So we can walk one footprint at a time to the top of the mat. If it's not available to you yet, to keep the legs straight and keep your arms straight the whole time, that's okay. You don't have to be straight the whole time. You can bend and get yourself there. Your feet might come to the mat and your arms might need to come up. That's okay. Take your time to get there. But eventually, we do want to work to keep the arms straight, keep the legs straight. The next one is the lunge. So as your body starts to warm up, left leg and then right leg. You might be asking, why do we always do the left leg first? And that has to do with the way that the energy is circulating in your body when we do the Sun Salutation. When we step back to plank, after we do flat back, and we come down and we step back to plank, We step back with the right foot, or excuse me, it might be the other way around because I always come back with the left. Yep, excuse me, we step back with the left foot and go into a right lunge to come into this plank. So as we move through our chaturanga and go to stand, now we come with the left foot. So we are making sure to get the full expression on both sides. When we go down, we take a lunge. When we come back, we take the opposite lunge. All right, so I'm gonna show you that one more time. As we come out of our flat back, we go from flat back to forward fold. We plant the palms, step the left foot back. Notice how we're in a right leg lunge to our plank before we lower down. And from here, now we bring our left leg forward to our forward fold, okay? One other modification that I'm able to show you is from our down dog coming forward with a hop. Now, once again, the goal isn't the hop. The goal is to float. But while we're working on shifting our body gracefully from downward dog to forward fold, there's going to be a transition, right? So from down dog, you might prep for your handstand or prep for your float. But if you're where I am, it looks a bit like this. I'm on a hill actually, so you might not be able to tell from the camera, but do that again. Not much, it's very subtle, but usually those that are working on a handstand will float into the forward fold. And then as we raise up from the forward fold, I usually cue rounding the spine and coming up to articulate that back, but we can also raise the arms up first, get them in line with our ears, and then let us basically pulling our thumbs back raise us all the way up. And of course, we bring our hands down, back to mountain pose. So for good measure, let's put all that together with all of those little details that you just learned. So we'll move really slowly, all right? So top of the mat, feet are planted, balls of the feet and heels. We are grounding into our mat while we're inhaling, lifting the arms up. Press the hands together, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Remember, whatever that means to you, we just worked on that is just creating a straight spine. So if you can do that with your hands on the ground, great. If you need the support of your shins or your thighs, that's fine too. All right, and we come down. What's after this? Stepping back to push-up position. So which leg do we start with? Left leg. Step back with the left, and then step back with the right. Feel your body for a moment. Press away from the mat, not collapsing in the shoulders here. Notice my inside of my elbows are pushing forward, and just taking a moment to make sure that I'm distributing the strength, not just in my arms and in my core, right? So elbows tucked in, slowly we lower down. Inhale, heart comes forward. If you're in baby cobra, you're here. If you're upward facing dog, you're here. Exhale, send the hips up and back. Step to the top of the mat. What leg? Left leg. Left leg is always moving. Left leg steps to the top or floats to the top or hops to the top for our forward fold. And then we use whatever we use to stand up tall. So whether that's just like we did with the arms extended, pulling the thumbs back. And so as we're here, same thing, grounding through the feet, reaching up in the hands, and then the hands come down to center. All right? So those are the foundations for your sun salutation. Once again, you can watch this video before or after our Into the Sun series. I recommend you do it after the Into the Sun series, or just as an addition to your personal practice, because it's really cool if you've never done sun salutations and stuff before to go through the series that we've prepared together, because it's very organic and it's not so mechanical. The mechanical part is something that you build into and you work up to, but I really just want you to experience the sun salutation. So once again, you can do this before or after. I recommend after. All right, love and light to you all. And as I always say, if you don't have space to practice with me here live in the mornings, you can do so at any time on YouTube. Go to our Nucultur YouTube. We have the Into the Sun series that's up there, and also Intentional Flow, which we did last month. But Intentional Flow is about to leave. Intentional Flow is going to our members only Patreon. All right, and then Into the Sun is going to be next. So make sure you practice it. Enjoy it all month for free on YouTube, because after that it is going to our members only portal. All right, y'all, keep practicing and I'll see you on the mat. Peace.